When the earth was still taking its first breaths, God drew its contours with divine precision, shaping deep valleys, endless forests, towering mountains, vast oceans, and mighty rivers, thus creating his masterpiece, nature. Among all the places blessed by this creation, Colombia was gifted with an incomparable treasure, one of the greatest biodiversities on the planet, a sanctuary so vast and mysterious that even today, much of its secrets remain hidden from human eyes. Among silent volcanoes and imposing canyons, a land emerged where beauty and mystery intertwine. Fascinating landscapes capable of hypnotizing any gaze, like the famous River of Five Colors, also called the liquid rainbow, which throughout the year transforms into a mosaic of green, yellow, pink, and blue, revealing a unique spectacle that we will show at the end of this video. This natural wonder lies in the department of Meta, in an enchanting transition region that unites the Andes, the Amazon, and the Llanos. This is a rare country, a true world within another world, where the Amazon stretches like a green ocean, sheltering exotic and giant animals. In the Andes, towering mountains hide giant birds and fierce predators. It is a remote and wild paradise, home to 10% of all species on the planet, a land of contrast so intense that even human ambition has not managed to dominate it completely. In the icy heights of the Andes, where the air is thin and the winds whistle between the peaks, the majestic condor soars gracefully, the largest flying bird on the planet, which with its wingspan of over 3 meters dominates the skies like an ancestral spirit. In the depths of the forests, where sunlight barely touches the ground, and every sound seems like an ancient whisper, live creatures that defy imagination. It is in this kingdom of green shadows that the jaguar, the largest feline in the Americas, walks silently, sovereign among the jungle predators. It is the greatest living symbol of the strength and mystery of creation. Smaller, but no less imposing, the puma is another silent predator of the Americas, an elegant shadow that roams mountains, forests, and deserts as if it were a ghost. But danger and mystery are not gifts reserved only for the great creatures. In the dampest corners of the Colombian Amazon, tiny frogs of intense colors, blue, yellow, red, hide a lethal power in their tiny bodies, which you will discover today. In the shadiest and dampest regions of Colombia's Andean forests, there exists a vibrant and mysterious creature that seems to have come out of a magical tale, the Andean cock of the rock. Amid the mountain fog and the sounds of the jungle, it appears like a flash of living fire. Beyond the Andean birds, Colombia is home to exuberant species in the Amazon, a paradise for lovers of flying creatures. There, colors and sounds mix in a living spectacle. Vibrant feathered macaws cut across the sky in noisy flocks. Toucans display their huge, colorful beaks, and hummingbirds, in dozens of species, shine like jewels in motion. This is the country with the greatest diversity of birds on the planet, and also the world champion in the number of hummingbird species, making its forest one of the most fascinating settings for bird watching. But Colombia's beauty and mystery never cease to surprise. Beyond mountains that touch the sky, dense and unexplored forests, this sanctuary is rich in rivers that hide legendary and feared creatures. In Colombia's rivers, a silent spectacle of wildlife runs through, transforming every current into a natural sanctuary. In the heart of the Colombian Amazon, the pink river dolphin reigns, an enigmatic creature that glides through murky waters like a charming ghost, symbol of the mystical connection between man and the forest. But it is not alone in this land of giants. A colossal caiman also inhabits these waters, fearing no rivals and rivaling in strength with the fiercest crocodiles on the planet. As feared as the caimans, the anaconda silently slithers through the river, with the calm confidence of one who is not only the largest snake in the region, but one of the largest in the world. Going up the waters of the Magdalena River, the surprise is the presence of the manatee, a gentle and curious being that glides with elegance, contrasting with the brute strength of other aquatic inhabitants. On the banks of the mighty Orinoco, however, lives an almost mythical predator, the Orinoco crocodile. With its powerful jaws and ancestral gaze, it dominates this ecosystem like a true king of the waters, a living relic of a wild world that insists on resisting time and man. Here, every ecosystem, every creature, seems to have been hand-painted by the Creator himself in an explosion of colors, sounds, and shapes that defy imagination. And it is in this setting of contrasts and wonders that we embark on an unforgettable journey to discover the secrets of Colombian nature. From the deepest forest to the highest peak, from the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean to the eternal mists of the Andean mountains. In this sanctuary of life, it is nature that lays down the rules. Here, time seems to have stopped, and the silence of millenary trees holds secrets that have never been told. What makes Colombia a truly unique territory is not only its wealth of landscapes or its impressive biodiversity. It is the fact that it is one of the last refuges on the planet where nature remains sovereign, untouched, untamed. In the 21st century, there are vast regions of southern Colombia, especially in the Amazon, that are still shrouded in a veil of mystery. Forests so dense and impenetrable that humankind has never set foot there. Areas that can only be reached after long hours of navigating winding rivers or through solitary flights over a green immensity that seems endless. This is a world apart, where time follows its own rhythm and life pulses with a primordial force. And now, it is your turn to cross this invisible frontier, not as a mere spectator before a screen, but as a privileged witness of something sacred. By entering these wild lands, you dive into a living chapter of creation, a chapter that is still being written by nature itself. An invitation to contemplate the grandeur of a planet that, despite everything, still keeps pure fragments of itself. Here, the forest is not just a backdrop. It is a character, a living being that breathes, grows, protects, and teaches. And every image you see, is a reminder that the divine still dwells among us, camouflaged in the leaves, in the songs of birds, and in the silence of the trees that endure. These areas are so remote that satellite images reveal isolated indigenous communities that live as they did centuries ago, in harmony with the environment. The country's environmental legislation, together with the ancestral knowledge of native peoples, contributes to keeping these ecosystems preserved. It is in this wild and protected space that unknown species, untouched landscapes, and a natural balance that has already disappeared in much of the modern world can still be found. Colombia not only shelters life, it protects it, nurtures it, and respects it as a true temple of the earth. With a territory extending over 1.1 million square kilometers, Colombia is the fourth largest country in South America. The most impressive thing is not just its size, but the fact that more than half of this vastness, about 60% of its territory, is still made up of natural areas, dense jungles, tropical forests, untouched mountains, and wetlands teeming with wildlife. These are thousands of kilometers of land where humans rarely set foot and where nature reigns in absolute freedom. In these regions, endemic species thrive, ecological cycles remain intact, and life follows an ancestral rhythm guided by rains, winds, and rivers. Colombia is literally a refuge for wildlife, one of the last bastions of pure and preserved biodiversity on the planet. This immensity of life spreads across Colombia in an impressive and diverse way. In the far south and southeast of the country lies the Colombian Amazon, a green ocean that covers approximately 1/3 of the national territory, functioning as one of the great lungs of the planet. In the center-west and west regions stretch the imposing Andean mountain ranges, divided into three branches, the western, central, and eastern cordilleras, that run through the country from south to north. These mountain ranges create a succession of altitudes and unique microclimates, hosting species of plants and animals that exist nowhere else in the world. To the north, the Caribbean coast holds coral reefs, mangroves, and tropical dry forests that shelter endangered and migratory species. In the Llanos Orientales, the plains stretch as far as the eye can see, like a green carpet where ocelots, anteaters, and flocks of waterfowl roam. Colombia is not only vast, it is profoundly diverse and intensely alive. And it is this abundance of untouched nature that makes it one of the most fascinating destinations in the world for those seeking to understand the grandeur of life in its rawest form. Colombia is one of the few countries in the world where there are no defined seasons like summer, autumn, winter, and spring. Instead, what defines the climate here is altitude. In a single day, it is possible to experience the humid heat of the Amazonian lowlands, the cool breeze of the Andean mountains, and the dry heat of the arid zones near the Caribbean. This extraordinary climatic variation makes Colombia a true mosaic of ecosystems, each with its own rhythm, vegetation, and inhabitants. The country is located on the equator, which means that days are almost the same length all year round. However, the rugged terrain and altitude variations create microclimates so distinct that it is as if several countries coexist within a single territory. In the low and humid regions of the Amazon and the Pacific coast, the climate is equatorial, hot and extremely humid, with abundant rain almost all year long. In these zones, the forest grows dense, the air is thick with humidity, and the green seems endless. In mid-altitude zones such as Bogotá and Medellín, a temperate mountain climate predominates. Temperatures are milder, days are cool, and nights can be cold, even in the heart of the tropics. Climbing even higher, above 3,000 meters, we enter the Páramo ecosystem, an Andean environment where the climate is cold, the air is thin, and the vegetation is adapted to frost and cutting winds. Continuing northward, on the Caribbean coast, we find a hot and dry climate, with long sunny periods, little rainfall, and landscapes that range from mangroves to savannas and coastal deserts like the La Guajira Peninsula. Each change in altitude, each change in direction, reveals a new Colombia, with its own climate, its own nature, and its own secrets. This diversity of climates, altitudes, and ecosystems makes Colombia a true paradise for wildlife. It is estimated that approximately 10% of all known species on the planet live in this single country. There are more than 56,000 recorded species, and new ones continue to be discovered every year, especially in dense, hard-to-access forest regions. The country leads the world ranking in the number of bird species, with over 1,900 identified species, which is almost 20% of all the birds on Earth. It also ranks among the top positions when it comes to amphibians, butterflies, orchids, and tropical plants, many of them endemic, meaning they exist only here. The secret of this abundance lies precisely in the combination of stable climate, varied topography, and preserved forests. In the Amazonian plains, for example, live jaguars, also known as panthers, pink river dolphins, sloths, and countless species of monkeys, while in the Andes it is possible to find the majestic puma, spectacled bears, Andean deer, and condors flying over the valleys. On the Caribbean coast, bottlenose dolphins play in shallow waters, while iguanas, crabs, and sea turtles share space in reefs and beaches. It is as if the Creator had chosen Colombia to be a sanctuary of life, a place where every corner holds a rare species, and where the balance between climate, geography, and life creates a symphony of biodiversity like few others in the world. Here, everything breathes life. And that is why exploring Colombia is much more than traveling. It is reconnecting with the planet in its purest and most impressive form. Let's begin our wild journey by discovering the unique characteristics and curiosities of species that are symbols of this country. In the cold and imposing skies of the Andes mountain range, where the largest flying bird in the world soars silently, the Andean condor. With a wingspan that can reach up to 3.3 meters, This monumental bird looks like a living shadow gliding over the snow-covered peaks and deep valleys of the South American continent. Weighing between 15 and 33 pounds, the condor is not just big, it is a true winged legend, a symbol of power and freedom for many Andean cultures. Its flight is almost magical. It rarely flaps its wings, preferring to ride the thermal currents rising from the mountains to stay aloft for hours without effort. This ability to glide long distances without expending energy makes the condor a master of the sky, capable of crossing natural borders in search of food or shelter. Its size is one of the reasons why this creature has virtually no natural predators. No land animal dares challenge it, even in its nests, built on inaccessible cliffs in the high Andes. Its eggs and chicks are protected by their remote location and the constant vigilance of the parents. This geographic isolation and strength have made it a true living legend, a symbol of power for many Andean cultures. Free from natural threats, the condor today faces only one enemy: humans, through hunting, indirect poisoning, and habitat destruction. This gigantic creature also impresses with its longevity. The Andean condor can live up to 70 years in captivity and, even in the wild, easily surpasses 50 years. For a bird, that is almost an eternity. It matures slowly, only beginning to reproduce around 6 to 8 years of age, and has an extremely low reproduction rate, generally one chick every 2 years. Seen from the ground, its flight seems to defy gravity. In the high regions of Colombia, mainly in the central Andes and the remote areas of the Sierra Nevada, it is possible to spot this giant gliding in wide circles, scanning the terrain with its sharp vision. Despite its imposing appearance, the Andean condor is a scavenger. It feeds on carcasses, playing an essential ecological role by cleaning the environment and preventing the spread of disease. Throughout its long life, it flies over valleys and abysses, gliding for hundreds of kilometers without flapping its wings, riding the ascending thermal currents. Each flight is like a silent dance with the wind. Each day lived is another page written in the millenary history of the Andes, and thus the condor keeps flying, not only as a bird, but as a guardian of the heights. Seeing a condor flying over the Colombian Andes is to witness a living link between wild nature and the ancestral mythology of a continent. Among the cold shadows of Colombia's Andean forests, a silent silhouette moves with elegance and precision. It is the puma, also known as the mountain lion or cougar, one of the most versatile and discreet predators of the American continent. Living at altitudes that reach more than 13,000 feet above sea level, it has adapted extraordinarily to the rugged terrain, misty forests, and abrupt temperature changes that characterize the Colombian Andes. With a muscular body that can reach up to 8 feet in length, including the tail, and a weight ranging from 110 to 220 pounds for adult males, The puma is the second largest feline in the Americas, behind only the jaguar. Unlike the jaguar, which prefers dense, humid forests, the puma dominates different biomes, from plains to snowy peaks, from deserts to tropical jungles. It is a true master of adaptation. The puma is a solitary, stealthy hunter, almost invisible to human eyes. Its eyes, adapted for night vision, glow like two silent beacons in the darkness of the mountain. It feeds on a wide variety of prey, from small rodents and birds to deer and wild llamas, and its hunting technique consists of approaching with extreme caution, almost without making a sound, until being only a few meters from its victim and then attacking with a sudden, powerful leap. A fascinating curiosity is that the puma does not roar like the lion or the jaguar, but emits a variety of sounds that include whistles, purrs, and even high-pitched screams similar to a human scream, something that has fueled many legends in Andean villages. Symbol of strength, agility, and mystery, the puma represents the untamable spirit of the mountain range, an almost mythical presence that watches over the mountains in silence, like an ancestral guardian of wildlife. Amid the misty forests and cliffs of the Andes mountain range lives a rare, discreet creature wrapped in mystery, the spectacled bear, also called the Andean bear. With dark fur and light patches around the eyes, resembling glasses, which give the species its name. It is the only bear native to South America and the only surviving species of an ancient lineage of prehistoric bears. Despite its imposing appearance, with males reaching up to 180 kilograms and standing about 2 meters tall, the spectacled bear is remarkably peaceful and solitary. Unlike its relatives from the northern hemisphere, it is rarely aggressive and avoids conflicts with humans. Its discreet behavior and nocturnal habits make it very difficult to spot in the wild, making it one of the most enigmatic creatures of the South American mountains. It inhabits areas from the moist valleys to altitudes above 3,000 meters, where vegetation is dense and the climate unpredictable. It is in this environment that the spectacled bear plays a fundamental ecological role, spreading seeds and helping to maintain the balance of the forest. Unlike the classic image of the hunting bear, the Andean bear has a diet that is largely vegetarian. It feeds primarily on fruit, bromeliads, palms, roots, bark, and shoots, but it can also consume insects, bird eggs, and rarely small animals. These bears have an uncommon ability to climb trees with ease, even though they are large and heavy. They often climb to the tops of canopies to feed on fruit and leaves, or to build resting platforms made of intertwined branches. Unfortunately, this species is threatened with extinction, a victim of habitat loss and illegal hunting. The spectacled bear is a living heritage from a time when giants dominated the forests, a silent symbol of South American biodiversity that, even hidden among the shadows, keeps alive the pulse of the high mountains. In the cold, dry altiplanos of the Andes, where thin air challenges even the hardiest, lives one of the most emblematic animals of South America's fauna, the guanaco. A wild relative of the llama and alpaca, it is a slender mammal with large, expressive eyes, covered by thick, light brown fur that protects it against the biting winds of the mountains. It can reach up to 1 meter and 20 centimeters at the shoulder and weigh between 90 and 140 kilograms, with males generally larger than females. Its agility and stamina are impressive, capable of traveling long distances in search of pasture and water, even on the steepest terrain. Guanacos inhabit the Andean steppes from southern Colombia to Patagonia, crossing altitudes from 2,500 to 4,000 meters, where few animals can survive. They live in structured family groups led by a dominant male who watches vigilantly over the surroundings for predators, always ready to give the alarm with a characteristic high-pitched cry. Herbivores by nature, guanacos feed on grasses, shrubs and lichens found in the poor soils of the Andes. Their stomachs are highly efficient, adapted to extract the maximum nutrients from scarce and tough plants. Moreover, they are able to survive with very little water, absorbing needed moisture directly from their food. Guanacos are one of the Andean puma's favorite prey. The confrontation between the two is a silent spectacle of nature. The guanaco relies on its keen vision and speed to escape, while the puma depends on stealth and surprise attack. It is a battle of instinct and survival that defines the natural balance of the Andes. These curious creatures play a vital role in the ecosystem, for their droppings fertilize the soil and their footprints open paths that other species use to move. They are animals that carry in their eyes the calm of the mountains, but live daily under the invisible tension of being hunted, a symbol of resilience and adaptation, shaped by the harshness of the Andean heights. We leave behind the arid landscapes and frozen peaks of the Andes, where the guanacos roam free and pumas hunt silently, to dive now into a completely distinct universe, vibrant, humid, deafening. We speak of the world's largest tropical rainforest, the Amazon. With over 5.5 million square kilometers in extent, this colossal jungle spreads across 9 countries in South America. About 10% of the Amazon forest lies within Colombian territory. This portion, located mainly in the south of the country, is among the most well-preserved and biodiverse in the entire region. Upon entering the forest, the feeling is of stepping through a portal into a world where life pulses at every corner, from the highest branches of the giant trees to the ground covered in leaves, roots, and shadows. Humidity is constant, heat is dense, and the sound of birds, insects, and amphibians forms a symphony that never silences. It's one of the last strongholds on the planet where nature still dictates the rules. In the Colombian Amazon, the variety of life is nearly incomprehensible to the human mind. It is estimated that this region is home to over 800 species of birds, such as the colorful-billed toucan and the harpy eagle, one of the most powerful birds of prey in the world. In the branches, reptiles like iguanas and arboreal snakes camouflage among the leaves, while in the dark rivers swim caimans, pink river dolphins, and the feared anaconda, one of the largest snakes on the planet. On the forest floor and among the trees move discreet mammals like sloths, tapirs, deer, ocelots, and the jaguar, which here finds one of its last refuges. There are also countless species of insects, amphibians, arachnids, and small rodents, each one playing an essential role in the balance of this ecosystem. The Amazon is a three-dimensional labyrinth of life, where every square meter may harbor more species than some entire countries. It is a world of exuberance but also of fragility, where the slightest imbalance can affect the whole system. And it is in this magical place that Colombia reveals yet another of its wild faces, lush, mysterious, and absolutely vital for the future of life on Earth. Walking in silence among the dense shadows of the tropical forest, stalking with almost invisible steps, is one of the most feared and respected predators in the whole Americas, the jaguar. Known by many names, jaguar in English, yaguarete in the Guarani and Tupi indigenous languages, and Panthera onca in scientific language, this creature commands respect both for its size and its raw power. The jaguar is the largest feline in the Americas and the third largest in the world, behind only the tiger and the lion. It can measure up to 180 centimeters in length, not including the tail, and weigh more than 120 kilograms. It is more robust than the puma, with a more compact and muscular body as well as a wider head, which is not just an aesthetic matter but functional. Its bite is the most powerful of all felines. With a pressure of up to 2,000 psi, it can pierce the skulls of its prey or crush bones with a single bite, something that even the African lion is unable to do. This power is not used randomly. The jaguar is an opportunistic and extremely adaptable predator, with a diet that includes more than 85 different species. It can hunt capybaras along riverbanks, caimans in shallow waters, deer in open fields, and even anteaters and armadillos in dense vegetation. Unlike most big cats, it is an excellent swimmer. Often, it dives into rivers not only to cool off, but to surprise its aquatic prey. With agile and silent movements, it approaches its victims patiently before delivering the fatal blow. This behavior gives it a versatility that few predators possess. Its ability to hunt both on land and in water makes the jaguar the supreme predator of the biomes it inhabits, from the Amazon rainforest to the Pantanal and parts of the Atlantic forest. For some indigenous cultures, it is a sacred entity, symbolizing power, courage, and respect for nature. Unlike the puma, which tends to avoid human presence and is more agile in mountainous terrain, the jaguar prefers dense forests and wet areas where it can use its natural camouflage with lethal efficiency. Its fur is covered in dark rosette-shaped spots, each with a central point, a trademark that distinguishes it from the African leopard, which has similar patterns but lacks this central point. The jaguar roars with a deep guttural sound capable of echoing throughout the jungle. This roar, although rare, serves as a territorial warning and a display of power. Another curious detail is that, unlike many solitary felines, females can temporarily share territory with their cubs for up to 2 years, until they are ready to hunt on their own. The jaguar is a creature wrapped in mystery, feared and revered, representing the apex of the food chain and the indomitable force of the wild forest. Unlike most big cats, which kill their prey with a neck bite to suffocate slowly, the jaguar adopts a brutal and precise hunting strategy. It bites directly into the skull. With its incredibly powerful jaw, it applies pressure capable of piercing dense bones with ease. The approach is swift and lethal. After sneaking close, using vegetation as cover, it leaps onto the prey and directs its bite exactly to the back or side of the skull, crushing the brain in seconds. This method not only ensures almost instant death, but also reveals its anatomical precision and absolute mastery as a predator. It is a technique that reflects its immense strength, but also its intelligence and efficiency, minimizing the risk of escape or resistance from the prey. Whether hunting a caiman, a capybara, or even a deer, the jaguar executes this attack with surgical coldness, making it one of the most formidable and respected hunters in the wild. All these combined traits, its colossal strength, skull-crushing bite, swimming prowess, nearly perfect camouflage, and hunting intelligence bordering on surgical instinct, make the jaguar the deadliest predator of the Amazon. No other land animal in the forest exerts such absolute dominance over its territory. Its presence commands silence in the jungle. It is a predator that dominates not only through strength but through strategy, adaptability, and precision. The jaguar is the apex of the Amazonian food chain, a hunting machine that combines muscle, technique, and an evolutionary history that has shaped it to be nearly invisible until the last second. For this reason, in the forest, no one walks above the jaguar. It is indisputably the dark queen of the jungle. While the jaguar moves like a lethal, fast, and silent shadow, another curious inhabitant of the Colombian forests follows a completely opposite rhythm, the sloth. With its slow and almost meditative movements, it seems to live in another time, as if the world around it moves too fast for it to care. Living in the treetops of the Colombian Amazon, primarily in humid and dense regions, the sloth is a mammal that rarely descends to the ground. Its body is perfectly adapted to suspended life, long, curved claws that function as natural hooks, allowing it to spend most of its time hanging upside down. This extreme slowness, which may seem like a weakness, is actually a survival strategy. By moving so slowly, it practically disappears into its environment, confusing visual predators like the jaguar. Its thick fur, often covered with green algae, camouflages it even more among the branches. Yet even with these defenses, the contrast is evident. If the jaguar is speed, precision, and strength, the sloth represents patience, energy conservation, and silent endurance. two extremes coexisting in the same jungle, revealing the multiple rhythms of Colombian wildlife. The sloth is literally the slowest terrestrial animal in the world. It moves at an average speed of less than 1 kilometer per hour. This means that in an entire hour, it barely covers the distance of 2 city blocks. But this slowness is not a flaw. It is a clever adaptation to a lifestyle where every gram of energy must be conserved. Its metabolism is extremely slow, functioning at about half the rate of other mammals of the same size. Thanks to this, it can go entire days without eating, and even when it does eat, digestion is so slow that it can take up to a week to process the fibrous leaves it consumes. This limited diet, based almost exclusively on leaves, flowers, and fruits, requires a specialized digestive system with a stomach divided into compartments that slowly ferment food. This slow metabolism allows it to survive in environments with scarce food without moving much, which also reduces its exposure to predators. On the banks of calm rivers, along Igarapé shores, and in flooded fields of the Colombian Amazon, lives one of the forest's most charismatic and surprising animals, the capybara. It is the largest rodent in the world. Its scientific name is Hydrochoerus hydrochaeris, and its robust body, short legs, and rounded snout resemble a giant wild pig, but its genetic lineage is closer to that of a giant rat. An adult capybara can measure up to 1.35 meters in length and weigh between 40 and 80 kilograms, although some individuals exceed 90. They live in cohesive social groups, sometimes exceeding 20 individuals, always near water sources, which are essential both for temperature control and as escape routes from predators. When threatened, they dive skillfully and can remain submerged for several minutes, practically invisible to the watchful eyes of the jaguar or anaconda. The capybara's diet is strictly herbivorous. It consumes a wide variety of grasses, aquatic leaves, fruits, and bark. It has a highly efficient digestive system with an intestine adapted to extract the maximum nutrients from low-energy foods, making it crucial for controlling riparian vegetation. In addition, the capybara practices coprophagy. That is, it consumes its own feces to redigest food and better absorb nutrients, a strategy common among rodents. Its ecological importance goes beyond what one might imagine. By grazing along the banks, it helps maintain vegetation under control, preventing overgrowth that could choke water flow or alter the microenvironment. As top prey for large predators like caimans, jaguars, and anacondas, the capybara also supports an essential part of the Amazonian food chain. Peaceful, sociable, and incredibly adapted to the aquatic environment, it is a discrete but indispensable piece in the living puzzle of the Colombian forest. In the Colombian Amazon jungle, the capybara does not only need to fear the jaguar. Hidden under the murky waters of rivers and igarapés, a silent and even stealthier threat waits for the right moment to strike: the anaconda. Also known as the green anaconda, this snake is one of the largest in the world, both in length and weight. Females, which are much larger than males, can exceed 8 meters in length and weigh over 200 kilograms. With a thick body and powerful muscles, the anaconda does not rely on venom. Its lethal weapon is brute force. It coils around its prey with frightening precision and speed, crushing it slowly until blood flow and breathing cease. This constriction technique is silent, relentless, and almost impossible to escape, especially for animals like the capybara, which often only realize the danger when it is too late. The Amazonian anaconda is a patient hunter. It positions itself partially submerged, with eyes and nostrils above the surface, nearly imperceptible in its environment. When a prey like a capybara approaches to drink or cross the river, the anaconda strikes quickly, biting and holding the animal with its curved fangs, and immediately begins to coil. After death, the prey's body is swallowed whole, a process that can take hours. Afterward, the anaconda may go weeks without feeding again. The greatest dangers of the Colombian Amazon jungle do not always come with roars or lurk underwater. Sometimes they fit in the palm of your hand and shine under the filtered light of the leaves with vibrant and hypnotic colors. This is the case of the poison dart frog, a reference to the tradition of some indigenous peoples who use its venom on arrow tips and blowgun darts for hunting. It is one of the most lethal animals in the world, despite its tiny size. These small amphibians, generally only 2 to 5 centimeters long, stand out for their intense and varied colors: electric blue, bright yellow, blood red, and neon green, often with contrasting spots or stripes. This exuberant coloration, called aposematism, is not nature's whim. It is a clear warning to predators: do not touch me. The venom of these frogs is so potent that a single drop can kill several humans. The best-known species, Phyllobates terribilis, considered the most poisonous animal on the planet, is native to the tropical forests of Colombia and contains enough batrachotoxin to kill up to 10 adult people. These tiny, silent killers do not produce venom on their own. Their toxin is accumulated from the specific insects and ants they consume in their natural habitat. Interestingly, in captivity, when fed controlled diets, they completely lose their toxicity, which shows how closely they are tied to their wild environment. Indigenous peoples of Colombia, such as the Embera, have known the power of these amphibians for centuries and use their venom to poison arrow tips and blowgun darts, making them deadly hunting tools. But these frogs, despite their fame, are discreet, usually found among damp leaves on the forest floor or on low branches, where they move slowly in search of small insects. Their call is soft, almost imperceptible, a whisper in the green chaos of the jungle. They serve as a powerful reminder that in the Amazon, not all danger comes with fangs or claws. Sometimes it is the smallest and most beautiful that hides the deadliest venom. In the sky, the spectacle continues with birds of vibrant colors and unmistakable calls. Macaws, with their red, blue, and yellow feathers, fly in pairs and feed on hard fruits, which they crack with their strong beaks. Toucans, with their enormous colorful bills, hop from branch to branch in search of fruits, while hummingbirds defy gravity with their hovering flight, feeding on flower nectar. Colombia is considered the true paradise of hummingbirds. No other country in the world hosts as many species of these tiny, fascinating birds. More than 160 officially recorded, with an impressive variety of shapes, colors, and behaviors. These little aerial acrobats are found in virtually all types of Colombian ecosystems, from the cold Andes Mountains to coastal regions, but it is in the Amazon rainforest that they shine in their wildest and most exuberant form. In the Colombian Amazon, dozens of species live among tropical flowers, tall trees and sunlit clearings, competing for every drop of nectar as if it were liquid gold. Birds like the green-tailed hummingbird, the topaz hummingbird, and the fiery bright hummingbird, with their fast flights and shimmering iridescence, transform every corner of the jungle into a silent spectacle of light and movement. Small in size, many only 7 to 12 centimeters long, hummingbirds have an extremely accelerated metabolism. Their wings can beat more than 80 times per second, allowing them to hover with millimeter precision while feeding. To sustain this frantic pace, they must consume an impressive amount of energy, visiting hundreds of flowers per day for nectar, and supplementing their diet with small insects, essential for obtaining protein. The presence of hummingbirds is vital for the Amazonian ecosystem. By transporting pollen from flower to flower, they ensure the reproduction of countless plant species, acting as efficient pollinators in a forest where every interaction matters. Their mesmerizing beauty, combined with ecological importance, makes these birds true ambassadors of tropical wildlife. In every shimmering flight, they carry the secret of Colombian biodiversity: light, fast, and essential for the forest to continue flourishing. If the hummingbird symbolizes lightness and speed, the toucan is the portrait of tropical extravagance. With its immense and colorful bill, it seems like a living work of art, sculpted to stand out among the tall branches of the Colombian Amazon rainforest. An adult toucan can reach up to 65 centimeters in length, nearly half of which is taken up by its impressive bill. Despite its size, the bill is surprisingly light, composed of a spongy tissue that allows agile and precise movements. What might appear as a visual exaggeration is, in fact, a multifunctional tool. With it, the toucan reaches distant fruits, manipulates food with precision, and even regulates body temperature, dissipating heat through the surface of the bill, an adaptation as ingenious as it is fascinating. In Colombia, more than 20 toucan species are recorded, each with distinct colors, sizes, and behaviors. Among the best known in the Amazon are the toco toucan, with its vibrant orange bill, and the yellow-breasted toucan, easily recognized by its black plumage contrasting with a bright yellow chest. The toucan's diet is predominantly frugivorous, but it also consumes small insects, eggs of other birds, and even chicks, making it an important agent in maintaining the ecological balance of the forest. As both consumer and seed disperser, it actively participates in the cycle of tree regeneration, helping to maintain the plant diversity of the Amazon biome. When a toucan feeds on a fruit, it often swallows the seed whole and transports it over long distances, releasing it elsewhere in the forest along with its feces, aiding the colonization of new areas. With its short, undulating flight, it crosses the canopy like an explosion of color and life, carrying with it the seed of the forest's next generation. Small inhabitants of the Amazon also play fundamental roles in the forest, not only as food for larger predators, but also for their multiple ecological functions essential to ecosystem balance. Among them, insects stand out, with almost limitless diversity. In the Amazon, there is a great variety of butterflies coloring the air with vibrant wings, beetles with shiny shells that reflect light, leafcutter ants acting as true forest engineers, as well as thousands of species of mosquitoes, bees, and spiders that form the complex web of life in the forest. This immense natural richness, seemingly pulled from a fable, transforms the Colombian Amazon jungle into a true sanctuary of biodiversity, where every tree, sound, and shadow hold secrets and wonders hidden by nature. To sustain all this biodiversity, not just with water, but as a true source of food, for both animals and humans, the Amazon River, the beating heart of the planet's largest tropical forest, crosses Colombia as a vital vein that nourishes, connects, and sustains a unique and impressive ecosystem. With its more than 6,400 kilometers of length, it is the most voluminous river in the world, discharging billions of liters of fresh water daily into the Atlantic Ocean. Its muddy, mysterious waters harbor countless species that survive its currents, the igarapes that feed it, and its banks teeming with life. Among the most enigmatic animals inhabiting the Colombian Amazon are the pink river dolphin, a freshwater dolphin known for its intelligence and indigenous legends. The pirarucu, one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, capable of reaching up to 3 meters in length, and the spectacled caiman, a river giant dominating the banks with its imposing presence. In the heart of the murky waters of the Colombian Amazon, one of the most enigmatic and fascinating inhabitants is the pink river dolphin, or simply boto. This freshwater dolphin species is unique in the world and arouses admiration and curiosity, both for its appearance and behavior. The boto can reach up to 2.5 meters in length and weigh around 150 kilograms, but what stands out most is its pink coloration, ranging from light gray to intense pink, depending on age, sex, and even the animal's excitement level. This hue results from blood circulation near the skin surface, intensifying during periods of greater activity or higher temperature. Unlike marine dolphins, the boto has an elongated and flexible snout, skillfully used to probe river bottoms for fish, its primary food source. The pink river dolphin is known for being an agile swimmer and an intelligent predator, capable of hunting in turbid waters where visibility is limited. It uses echolocation, emitting sounds and interpreting the echoes to locate prey, even in dark or muddy waters. Socially, the boto is a solitary creature or lives in small groups, unlike marine dolphins that form large pods. In Amazonian culture, the boto is surrounded by myths and legends. It is believed that it can transform into a charming man to seduce riverside women, earning it a special place in regional folklore. Beyond the boto, another creature impresses with its size. The pirarucu, known as the giant of the Amazon rivers, is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world and a true treasure of Colombian biodiversity. In some areas, it is called Arapaima, a name also used scientifically, Arapaima gigas, which has gained international recognition. It can reach up to 3 meters in length and weigh more than 200 kilograms, impressing with its strength and size, as well as its longevity, which can exceed 50 years. This fish has a robust body covered by large, tough scales that act as natural armor against predators. The pirarucu is an air-breathing fish, able to rise to the surface to capture atmospheric oxygen, allowing it to survive in waters with low oxygen levels, common during the dry season. Its diet is omnivorous, feeding on smaller fish, fruits and seeds, playing a crucial role in dispersing aquatic plants and maintaining the ecological balance of Amazonian rivers. It is a species of great economic and cultural importance for riverside communities, which rely on it for food and livelihood, while also facing the challenge of ensuring its conservation amid overfishing and environmental changes. On solid ground, among the twisted roots of the forest and the silent shadows of ancient trees, the jaguar, the perfect, silent and lethal hunter, commands absolute respect. In the dark and mysterious waters of the Amazon rivers, the rein changes hands, or rather, jaws. Here, the ruler is the crocodile, and among them one stands out as the absolute sovereign, the black caiman, also known as the spectacled caiman. It is the largest of its species, capable of exceeding 6 meters in length, with jaw strength so immense it can crush bones with ease. The black caiman combines brute force with deadly patience. It waits motionless, like a floating log, until its prey comes too close. Then, in the blink of an eye, it plunges everything into chaos, teeth churning water, and the deadly silence that returns immediately afterward. Its diet is as wide-ranging as its territory. As a juvenile, it feeds mainly on aquatic insects, small fish, and amphibians, growing silently, camouflaged along the banks. But as an adult, its feeding habits change drastically. It begins to capture practically anything that moves. Large fish such as tambaqui and pirarucu, unsuspecting water birds, monkeys that approach the water, and even capybaras and deer that dare to drink at the edges. There are records of black caimans even attacking anacondas. In its territory, no animal is completely safe. Unlike other predators that select their prey, the black caiman is opportunistic and voracious, adapting its diet according to the season, food availability, and environment. It is, in fact, the great devourer of the flooded jungle. The reproduction of the black caiman in the Amazon is a silent spectacle that follows the cycles of the waters. The female, reaching sexual maturity around 10 years old, builds nests with leaves and mud along riverbanks during the dry season when water levels are lower. There, she lays between 30 and 60 eggs. which will incubate for about 90 days. The nest's temperature determines the sex of the offspring. Warmer nests produce males. Cooler nests produce females. During this entire period, the mother guards the nest with almost obsessive vigilance, protecting it from predators like lizards, armadillos, and even other females of her own species. When the eggs finally hatch, the female carries the hatchlings in her mouth to the water, where they remain under her protection during their first months of life. Despite this maternal care, few survive the first years, falling victim to predators or competition among siblings. Those who survive, however, join the lineage of one of the most formidable predators of the forest, heirs to an aquatic empire that has endured for millions of years. The black caiman is the ghost that rules the river, a predator as ancient as the forest itself, shaped by millennia of evolution, sovereign in the deep waters of the Amazon. Another grand river that crosses Colombia is the Orinoco. In the easternmost part of Colombia, where the llanos meet the tropical forest, it flows majestically, one of the largest and most legendary rivers in South America. Stretching over 2,000 kilometers, it originates in the Colombian mountains and follows its course until it empties into the Atlantic Ocean, drawing natural borders, nourishing lush ecosystems, and sustaining riverside communities for millennia. Its waters, ranging from rapids to flooded plains, are home to unique biodiversity. But among all the inhabitants of this powerful river, one stands out as the most feared and emblematic, the Orinoco crocodile. With its prehistoric body, crushing jaws, and solitary behavior, it rules the banks and calm waters like a ghost from ancient eras. Today this giant is critically endangered, yet it remains the ultimate symbol of the river's wild and ancestral strength. Despite its imposing appearance and visual similarity to Amazonian caimans, like the black caiman, the Orinoco crocodile belongs to a distinct group of reptiles. Caimans are part of the Alligatoridae family, while the crocodile belongs to the Crocodilidae family. This difference, which might seem purely scientific, becomes clear upon closer inspection. The crocodile's snout is narrower and more elongated, its teeth are more visible even when the mouth is closed, and its bite, even stronger than that of caimans, is a true bone-crushing press, capable of breaking bones and turtle shells with brutal ease. The Magdalena River is Colombia's central artery, a giant that flows from south to north, connecting mountains, forests, and cities like a liquid path of history, culture, and life. Stretching an impressive 1,528 kilometers, it originates in the Colombian Andes, in the central Cordillera, and winds through vast plains until emptying into the Caribbean Sea near the city of Barranquilla. It is the largest and most important river in Colombia, not only in size but also in influence. Millions of people live along its banks. Its waters irrigate agricultural fields, support river transport, and sustain ecosystems rich in biodiversity. In colonial times, this river was the main communication route between the interior and the coast. Today, even with the challenges of pollution and human intervention, the Magdalena remains the river of the Colombian heart. majestic, vital, and deeply intertwined with the nation's identity. It is a mirror of Colombia, vast, diverse, and full of stories. In the dark, dense waters of the Magdalena River, a hidden and vibrant world exists, filled with creatures adapted to one of Colombia's most important river ecosystems. Among the most emblematic inhabitants is the Caribbean manatee, known as the sea cow of the Caribbean, a gentle aquatic mammal threatened with extinction, gliding slowly through the channels like a serene ghost of the waters. Magdalena also hosts predators, among them the spectacled caiman patrolling the banks in search of prey, and large carnivorous catfish such as the painted catfish and the golden catfish, navigating its depths. The avifauna is also present, with herons, kingfishers, and ospreys hunting along the banks. Despite human pressure and environmental degradation, the river still harbors impressive natural wealth, a liquid jungle where each species plays a vital role in the web of life. In the heart of Colombia, hidden among the plains of the Sierra de la Macarena, there is a river that defies all definitions of natural beauty, Caño Cristales. Known as the River of Five Colors, or the Liquid Rainbow, this natural spectacle is located in the Meta department, in a magical transition zone between the Andes, the Amazon, and the Llanos. What makes this river a unique phenomenon in the world is the presence of an aquatic plant called Macarenia clavigera, which, during the months from June to November, becomes the star of an unparalleled visual display. When conditions are perfect, sunlight, water level, and exact temperature, the Macarenia explodes in intense pink tones, creating a vivid carpet beneath the crystal-clear waters. Mixed with the blue of the water, the green of the algae, the yellow of the sand, and the black of the rocks, the pink of Caño Cristales makes the river appear as a living painting, where each curve and rapid reveals a fragment of a hidden paradise. More than a river, Caño Cristales is a mystical experience, a natural sanctuary that silently showcases the sacred power of Colombian biodiversity. Visiting Colombia is embarking on a unique journey, where wild nature reveals itself in its most powerful and fascinating form. Here, you can experience the thrill of locking eyes with the jaguar, the supreme predator of the forests, or feel the stealthy presence of the puma, silent and agile, ruling the heights of the Andes. In the mysterious waters, the anaconda glides through vegetation, a silent giant inhabiting the rivers and lakes of the Amazon, while the tiny but lethal poison dart frog signals the hidden dangers among the leaves. Every encounter with these creatures turns your visit into an unforgettable experience, a deep connection with the raw power and delicate beauty of Colombian wildlife.